It was a sunny afternoon when Lucas, a young mechanic with a passion for antiques and gadgets, decided to visit a scrapyard on the outskirts of the city. The place was a veritable labyrinth of rusty metal, old car parts, and forgotten machines. He was looking for something interesting, something he could fix and turn into art. As he walked through the narrow corridors, Lucas saw an elderly man, the owner of the junkyard, who seemed lost in thought. Lucas' curiosity led him to it. Observing a stack of machines, the owner of the scrap metal, not really sure, started pointing at some pieces. Until, as he turned a corner, Lucas came across a large object, covered by a dusty cloth. He pulled back the cloth and revealed a sturdy, well-maintained military generator. "How much does that cost?" Lucas asked, his eyes shining with enthusiasm. The owner of the scrap, without knowing the true value of what he had in his hands, replied, "Oh, 100 reis is fine. There's a lot here, you can take it." Lucas couldn't believe it. He quickly paid for it and took the generator home, eager to discover its secrets. Arriving at his small studio, he began to disassemble the generator. The gears were larger and more complex than anything he had ever seen. Lucas spent hours working, studying each component. What seemed to be just an ordinary generator soon turned out to be an advanced model with cutting-edge military technology. After a few days of research and hard work, Lucas managed to restore it. When he turned it on, the generator worked perfectly, producing energy as if it were new. He had a brilliant idea: to transform the generator into a source of energy for his studio, and perhaps even sell 1 or 2 renewable energy projects. Over time, Lucas's fame spread. He began to receive orders from people interested in energy systems that he himself developed, inspired by the technology of the military generator. His innovative designs attracted investors, and soon Lucas found himself at the head of a small company. Months later, as Lucas counted the profits from his new life, he reflected on the day he walked into the junkyard. The owner, unaware of what he was selling, had changed his life forever. He smiled, thinking about how luck can change in an instant and how valuable curiosity can be. Lucas, the junkyard genius, was now on a bright path, all thanks to a piece of junk that no one else valued. He knew that sometimes what seems like trash can hide unimaginable treasures. And so he decided that every week he would return to the junkyard, not only in search of more treasures, but to help the old man understand the value of the things he owned. Over the next few months, Lucas continued to grow his company, always at the forefront of new innovations. But his true motivation was not just success. He wanted to give back. He decided he had to help the junkyard owner, who still had no idea of the value of what he was keeping. Lucas made a plan. He returned to the scrapyard and greeted the old man with a smile. "Hello, friend. Remember me? That kid who bought the generator?" The man smiled, remembering Lucas, but still not quite understanding the transformation that object had caused in the young man's life. "Of course. How are you? Did you manage to do anything with that thing?" "Actually, I did much more than that," Lucas said excitedly. "I turned it into a power source for my workshop, and now I'm selling renewable energy systems." The owner of the scrapyard widened his eyes, intrigued. "Really? And how much did you earn from that?" Lucas hesitated for a moment. He didn't want to seem presumptuous, but he felt it was time to show the old man the true potential of what he had. "Well, I'm making an average of a few thousand reis a month now, and I thought you could help me. What do you think about the two of us working together? You have a lot of stuff here that could be worth more than you imagine." The old man fell silent, surprised. No one had ever told him about the hidden values in his scrapyard. Lucas proposed that they create a project to restore and resell old equipment, and the owner of the scrapyard, excited, agreed. In the following months, the pair began to work tirelessly. Lucas taught the old man to recognize valuable parts, and together they began to restore equipment that was just gathering dust. What had once seemed like a scrapyard became a small business that attracted customers from all over the region. The old man, who had once felt alone among his things, now had a new purpose. He learned to use technology and even began to understand sales. Their friendship grew, and laughter echoed through the scrapyard. Meanwhile, Lucas's fame continued to grow. He began to be invited to technology fairs and exhibitions, where he spoke about the power of recycling and reusing parts. His story inspired many young people to see value in things that used to be discarded. One night, while they were working together at the scrapyard, Lucas turned to the old man and said, "You know, I would never have gotten this far without you. That sale changed my life, but what we built together is even more valuable." The old man smiled, his eyes shining with a mixture of pride and happiness. He realized that, even without knowing what he was selling, he had contributed to something much bigger. And so, between rusty parts and laughter, Lucas and the owner of the scrapyard transformed not only their lives, but also the way people viewed disposable items. The scrapyard, which had once been just a forgotten place, became a center of creativity and innovation, where the past and the future met. The genius of the scrapyard was not only Lucas, but also the old man, who learned that the value of things is not just in what they look like, but in what we can do with them.